Hi guys, and welcome to part 94 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. Now the first mod I am going to show you in this video is a mod called Sky City Markarth Rising. And this is a mod that attempts to improve Markarth in a fairly simple way. Markarth is a fairly unique city in Skyrim. It is an old Dwemer ruins, and all of the buildings are actually sort of embedded into the side of the mountains. And it is a very impressive looking place with glorious waterfalls and massive cliffs, but it is a tiny bit empty, a little bare. There are not that many doors, not that many buildings, and I suppose you have to assume a lot of people live underground in communal areas, but something about it looks a little, well, underwhelming. And that is what this mod attempts to fix. And it does it in a very simple manner, a manner that is actually, well, quite brilliant in its own way. It adds a lot of ruins, buildings and architectural features above the city. So when you look up, you will see new buildings, new doors, new bits of Dwemer machinery that make the skyline look so much more interesting and actually give the city a busier feeling. None of these buildings are places you can get to, that you can't go in any place. It's all there for the visuals, but it really does work. And so even though the main city is unchanged, the areas you will be going are unchanged, you still get this feeling that the city is large and bustling. You still get a feeling of awe when you look around Markarth. And in theory, because it's just adding stuff to the top of the city, to the upper layers of the city, mods that overhaul the lower levels should work just fine. One such example would be JK's Markarth. Now this is a mod that changes the city proper, the actual areas you are walking in, interacting in, it will change them. It does add some new features, some new structures, such as a building that looks like a money lending place, and there is a major overhaul of the smithing area. The smithy and the area surrounding it has received quite an overhaul. The main area now resembles a Dwemer structure, and I mean it really does suit the city, but it looks like something that was there before the Nords came and added their own little features. And as such, it is far more impressive. It does look a lot more attractive. I mean, as smithies go, this is probably one of the better looking ones. But a lot of the changes this mod adds are kind of difficult to pinpoint if you just walk into Markarth. It's easier to see when you see side-by-side shots. You can see the differences pretty much immediately. But when you first walk in, you might have a hard time remembering what has changed. And that is a good thing. That means the mod has not removed the feel of Markarth. It has not changed it to the point where it is unrecognizable. But you will notice more ornate decorations, more light sources and sconces, and a few other items that just make the place feel busier, more lived in, but overall richer and more prosperous. You definitely get the impression of a rich and powerful city, a city that has prospered because of the resources it has at its disposal. Both sides of the Civil War wanted this city for their own, and with this mod installed, you get a feeling as to why. And if you then add Sky City Markarth Rising to your load order as well, it becomes pretty awe-inspiring. The view from the ground is a little daunting. You would walk into Markarth and feel kind of small. You would feel in awe of the city, and it is a really, really good feeling. You do get this new respect for this city and for the Dwemer. However, it should be noted that both of these mods do add things to Markarth, and therefore will probably have a small effect on your performance. And it's not a huge effect. I noticed a few frames dropping. However, Markarth is notoriously tough on weaker systems, so you should try this out and see what sort of performance you get. The visuals are incredible. The city feels great with both of these mods installed, but you will be pushing even the strongest system. Now, the JK overhaul of Markarth is not the only such mod on Nexus. There is also one called Dawn of Markarth, which is very popular and does a very similar thing. However, it does it in a different way. Now, I did not spend as long testing this mod as I did the JK's mod, so I do apologise if I miss a few details, but the feeling I got when using this mod was of a city that is actually lived in. Markarth by default does feel pretty barren. It almost feels like a tourist attraction or a film set. It does not have that feeling of real people living there. And with this mod, it gets that feeling. You will notice a lot of little details that will just make it feel like real people have day-to-day lives here. It's not as grandiose as JK's overhaul, but it is somehow more gritty, perhaps even more immersive. You can see signs that the local population have tried to brighten up the stone with some decorations. There are far more banners and flags that are evident. You will also notice a few cultural items from the Forsworn, suggesting that whilst this city is under the Nord's control, they are at least showing some modicum of respect for the old cultures so as not to incite further violence. The smithy area now has some orc building type features, so obviously the orcish smith there has built a few new things just to make herself feel at home. And there are even a few new traders. You will also see some features that will make the place look a little more impressive. There is a statue for Dibella. There are a few new statues, Dwemer statues for example. But overall, what this mod adds are just those little human touches, the little things that real people would have added, including things like laundry hanging up. And then when you add Sky City Markarth Rising, which further enhances the old Dwemer architecture, you do see this clash that really brings home what Markarth is about. A mixture of the old and the new, a symbol of both strife and potential prosperity. Now, before anyone asks, Dawn of Markarth and JK's Markarth are not compatible. They do change the same thing, but both mods are compatible with Sky City Markarth Rising, so you will have to choose. And I am afraid I cannot tell you which you should choose, because that really is going to come down to you. What do you want out of the city of Markarth? And I am going to leave you to ponder that question, because for now, that is all from me. That is it for this video. I am of course going to end with screenshots that you guys have been posting. Thank you very much to everyone who has posted so far, and if you want to post some of your own, there is a link down below to my Nexus page. Post them there and I will use as many as I can. I hope you guys can join me for the next Skyrim Mod Sanctuary or any of my other videos, and I look forward to seeing you there. But whichever video you decide to join me for, until then, remember as always, have fun.